Hey, welcome back to the Full Weight of Joy podcast. My name is Tami, and this is the last episode of 2024. And I was trying to figure out what do I want this episode to be about? And I really, when I was when I was meditating on the word today, when I was thinking about it, I was like, I just want this to be a inspirational, motivational. I want it to be a light episode. I could go through here's all the wins and here's my wins and losses from 2024. Here's the high points and low points. And I was like, you know what? I just want to encourage you. I want to say thank you. How valuable, how much you mean to me. And I want you to see how much you mean to others. And so that's what this episode, it's going to be a short one. I know this is like no man's land. We're after Christmas, but we're like the new year hasn't started. It's right before, New Year's Day, and we're still trying to figure out this is just it's a free for all pretty much. I didn't even know what day of the week it is. When I was recording this, I needed to look at a calendar and I was like, already? It's already that day. And so you may be listening to this after the new year, which is amazing. And if you are new to the Full Weight of Joy podcast, I'm thankful that you're here. I hope that you get something out of this. I want to I want this to be a space that we can grow together. We can laugh, we can have fun. I have some really cool interviews coming up for 2025. I have getting a little more focused, a little more specific. I've heard your feedback, and I want to make this a time that you really enjoy our time together, because I enjoy this time together. And so today, I just wanted to tell you about how amazing you are. I just wanted to talk about how, what if it could be easy? And you're like, Tammy, what could be easy? Because right now, I mean, we're coming off of the holidays, and from Halloween to New Year's, I feel it's a big rush. And I feel like a lot of the magic that happens falls on moms, falls on our shoulders to get the gifts, wrap the gifts, make the magic, make the cookies, make the meals, entertain the people, decorate the house, undecorate the house, clean the house. There's just so much. Entertain all the people, and then have time to be grateful and sit and enjoy everything. And it's a lot. And so as I was thinking about it, I was like, I just want you to think about it for a moment. What if 2025, what if it could be easy? And I want to let you in on a little secret, because the more I dove into how God created me, how he wired me, what my motivations, what my strengths are, and believe me, it was really difficult to really not only isolate. I've taken a bunch of strengths tests. I've taken the spiritual gifts test to see what are the DISC and Myers-Briggs, and as you know, I love the Enneagram and Clifton Strengths. I've taken all of these and more. I know what color I am, I know what animal I am, I know what all these things. But it's easy to see the weaknesses. But it's kind of difficult to lean into your strengths. One is because our strengths typically come so natural to us that we overlook them. But also it feels like if we are focusing and we identify our strengths, it feels kind of, it can feel kind of arrogant a little bit. But I want to tell you, the more I understand my strengths, the more my clients understand their strengths and how God wired them, because I see our strengths are a gift that we can give the world. And so many times we strive, we hustle, we're busy, we're trying to make things happen. And then we get burnt out. And so what if we could make 2025 easy? What if we committed this year? And I already shared last episode that my word of the year is favor. And that is not just a passive. I'm not going to sit back and just wait for it to be lavished with blessings. But I'm going to look for favor in everything that I'm doing. And I'm going to have my hands open and my heart in a posture of I'm waiting in anticipation for God to work. And part of this is understanding how he's wired us, Understand the strengths he's given you, and you can lean into those. Because when we lean into our gifts and we see that that is a it's not just for us alone, it's actually the gift that we can keep giving, and that it's not selfish to understand them, but it's actually the most selfless thing we can do is serve in a way that is life-giving instead of draining for all parties involved. And so I want you to think about this. And what went well in 2024? What are some of the strengths that you have? Like, think about some of the good things and the trials and the challenges that you faced, and what are some of the characteristics, some of the things that came up for you, that like a theme throughout, that like, are you crafty? Are you do you figure everything out? Are you logical? Are you emotional? Are you able to sit with people when they are struggling? Are you able to see a way through? Are you able to find a way to succeed? Are you able to find a way to support others? Do you understand others' needs before they understand them themselves? The more we lean into our strengths, the easier it can be. For a little while, like, I felt like I started to understand what I was strong at, what I was good at, and how God wired me. But I felt like if I didn't pour into that, and if I wasn't intentional, if I didn't try to make them better, if I still felt that there was a hustle and there was a fear behind it, that if I didn't strive, it wouldn't be there. And God worked on me this year, and knowing that it is that's the beauty, is the strengths are there naturally. Yes, I can enhance them. I can lean in, I can learn more, but I don't have to. And so this whole year, it's leaning into, okay, God, this I'm just going to trust this is that I will figure this out because this is the way that you wired me. And that's what I want for you as well. As you're looking at this 2025 coming up, if you haven't picked your word, like, borrow mine until you can come up with one yourself, or just own it. Just take favor and see what God does with it. But I want you to see yourself more clearly. I want you to see yourself how your best friend sees you, how your mom sees you, how your dad sees you, only if they're positive. If you can't make them happy, then just move on, bless and release. But how does even better, how does your heavenly Father see you? There are no mediocre gifts. There are no substandard gifts. There are no strengths that are not needed. Your strengths are needed. And so if we allow ourselves to see ourselves more clearly, and we, instead of trying, like, own your strength, feel confident, because that's where our confidence comes from, is in the owning it and realizing that God's put it in our heart. He's not going to take it away. If he's given you that strength, it's for you to use, and you don't have to fear that it's going to disappear. Oh, I like that. You don't have to fear it's going to disappear. Like, stick with it. It is there for you to use and to lean on as you are struggling, as you are going into a new season. I like this year, with my word being favor, I can see some areas that I am going to get out of my comfort zone, and I'm going to do the things that God's called me to do. I'm going to do the assignment, and I want to do it well, because I was reading. I wish I need to get that quote. I wish I would have written that down, but it talks about how God's not going to ask us like with what we do with the things we have, but He's going to ask us what we did with what He's given us. What have you done with your strengths? What do you want to do with your strengths? But what if it could be easy to use your strengths? And so this year, as we lean into 2025, and as we step into a new year, and we're making resolutions, we're making goals, and all of this, what if one of your goals was to do something within your strengths intentionally every day? So if it's relationally based, then lean into that. If it's my son is really good working with his hands, and so building things, like, then build something. Even if you don't have anything like constructive to build, then grab Legos and build something. There's always an option. There's always things. Actually, he does really good with popsicle sticks of all things. We for while I was building this house, we were in this little tiny one bedroom apartment, and we didn't have a lot of space. We didn't have a lot of we didn't have video games. The Wi-Fi was terrible. Cell service was terrible, and so we did a lot of DVDs, and then we did a lot of popsicle sticks with hot glue gun. Some of the things that they made and the creativity that they had is pretty awesome. And that helped him see that he's creative and he's good with his hands. So, what are you good at? What are you good with? What lights you up to do? And what if every day you found a small way to do that? And what if you rested in the fact that you don't have to hustle in this area of life, that it's actually very easy for you and we're allowed to make it easy. Not everything in life has to be hard. And you may already know that. That is something that I've had to learn. I grew up, in a military household, joined the military, and if it's not hard, you're not working hard enough. And that's one area that I'm trying to not instill with my kids. Like, I want them to work hard. I want them to have a good work ethic, but I don't want them to feel like they constantly have to strive. I don't want them to constantly hustle. And I don't want you to do that either. I don't want that for me. So what if we looked at and we spent this next year defining our strengths, looking at how our strengths have come into play over the course of our existence? What if we look and see what's possible? Because as we know our strengths, as we see how God wired us, we can also see our calling and our purpose. And then we can activate that and we can really start to live our purpose, because discovering our purpose is not the point. Living life to the fullest and being able to say, because we all want God to say, well done and faithful servant. Like, we want that. And that's has to do with the assignment he's given us, the purpose he's laid in our heart, the calling that he's put in our souls. But a lot of times we overlook it because we think it has to be hard. And so I just want you to think about it today. I want you to what if it could be easy to live your purpose? What if your strengths make it easy? What if you can lean into what he's called you to do in a way that is life-giving and energy-bringing? And what if we lean into the fact that God's not going to take our gifts away? That he's given us a special assignment. He's given us a special calling. Even if there's other people doing something similar, they can't do it the same way that he's given you. Let's lean into 2025. I want to encourage you that life doesn't have to be a struggle all the time. I know that we've been through some pretty hard struggles, pretty hard trials, challenges in our life. And I may not know your exact story. I may not know the things that you've been through, or the things that have been done to you, or the decisions that were made for you. But I also know that if you're listening to this podcast, it's because you want a future, because you don't want to get stuck in the things of the past. You don't want that to define you. You want God to define you. You want your life to be fulfilling, and you want to have a legacy. You want to make an impact that matters. And so I want to help you do that. I want to commit to you that over 2025, I'm going to help you. If you'll stick with me, if you'll follow some of the things, it's not like they're simple things, but they may not be easy, because sometimes our brains are going to stop us from doing the easy things because they are the most effective. Surprisingly, not everything has to be hard. But if you'll stick with me this year, then we won't be the same people this time next year that we are now. Because we're going to know how God wired us. We're going to see ourselves clearly. We're going to see ourselves how God saw us, how he sees us. And the things that we are called to do, they can flow. They can be aligned. They can be life-giving instead of always feeling like there's always more to give. When you understand the why behind the why, when you understand how God wired you, the more is easy to step into. And I want to help guide you through that. I want to be able to, well, I've been on this journey for probably 2 decades. And I know that some of the mistakes that I made that I don't want you to make, some of the shortcuts that I've discovered that I want you to, like, let's surpass. Let's jump ahead. Let's get on this yellow brick road and go for it. Who does God want you to be? What does he want for you? What does he put on your heart? What is this longing that you have? Can I say that the shortcut to figuring that out is to figure out what's inside of you? The self-awareness, the self-discovery, this seeing yourself clearly, this understanding, this longing for more, this success ceiling that you're like, okay, I've had success and why am I like, I feel guilty for wanting more. What if God has done that because he wants more for you too? And it doesn't have to be hard. And so over this next year in 2025, we are going to have our hands open for the favor of God. We're going to look and see how he's created us, how he wired us, and the gifts that he has placed in our hearts. So that way we can lean into that versus striving and trying to do all the things to serve because we have this heart of service and yet we don't know how to serve best. And so we keep saying yes to everything that we're capable of doing, but we don't have the energy to say yes to the things that we should be doing, the things that he's called us to do, because it's not our job to do everything. It's our job to follow what our assignment is. It's our job to discover what it is and then do it. And it doesn't have to be hard. So the first step is to see ourselves clearly, which this is part of my shine framework. Like this is, kind of frameworks and plans and things for everything. And so briefly, I'll tell you, because I'm really proud of this. Like as I was coming down with it, I was like, oh, I can change these words to make it the word shine because we're called to shine. We're called to be the lamp on the hill. We can't do that if we're hiding. We can't do that if we're striving to be someone that God didn't call us to be. And so the S is see yourself clearly. The H is hear your calling. I is integrate your whole self. N is navigate your path. That has to do with strategy planning and fun things like that. And then E is embody your purpose. Understanding our purpose is a byproduct of understanding ourselves and understanding how to integrate our whole self, meaning like whole self-care, meaning boundaries, meaning a relationship alignment, energy alignment. Like these are things that we will work on together. The hear your calling, like purpose clarification. Your purpose and my purpose, even if they're similar, are not the same. Your purpose and your sister's or your friend's purpose. You may, even if you are starting a business together or a nonprofit or a ministry together, your purpose they're shifting a little bit. They're different a little bit. So what is your purpose clarification and how do you activate that? And then, just to see yourself clearly, this self-discovery that so many times we avoid doing because we're afraid of what we're going to find. Friend, we're going to find exactly who God created you to be. And he did not make mistakes. He made you amazing. He made you so, he with such care and love that when you understand that the why you've been through what you have, the why of the decisions you made were there, the strengths that you hold, there's going to be nothing that stops you from taking that leap into your purpose and calling. Nothing that stops you from just leaning into the strengths and the gifts that he's given you and saying, let's do this. So I just want to thank you so much for sticking with me through this process. Do you know we're at like 280? This is podcast number 280. It's been almost 4 years. And I'm just getting started. And I know you are as well. And so this year, as we work through the Shine framework, as we go through and we discover who God's created us to be, so we can discover what he's called us to do and then do it, so we can take this self-awareness and take it to a deeper level because our purpose is on the other side. our fulfillment, our impact, our calling, our success, our life is on the other side of understanding how God wired us. And so take this journey with me. If you are bold enough, like DM me on LinkedIn at Tami Imlay, Tamiimlay, or at on Instagram at Tami Marie Coaching, or email me, Tami at Tami Marie Coaching, and tell me, like, are you bold enough to go on this journey to see what God has for you? And then to see, what if it truly can be easy? What if it's more about removing things that we're not supposed to be doing versus just adding more to our life? What if it means having a balance of rest and work, and that work is not maybe 4-letter word, but it's not. It may be 4 letters, but it's not a 4-letter word. There you go. That's how I say it. But what if we get to have it's like life-giving as well? Even if you are in a job that you don't love, what if God has you there for a reason? And what if we're able to pinpoint what that reason is? If you have this desire for more, what is it? And we can figure that out. All right. Well, I'm going to go because it is it's time to go start dinner. It's time to actually, we've got a lot of laundry to catch up on, and a lot of life. And it's going to be game night. We're learning card games. One of the things that I want to do with my kids more this year is learn different card games. And so we're working on the card game pitch. It's pretty new to me too. My son has taken to it faster than me. No surprise. But we want to play these like spades and cribbage and all these card games that are pretty simple that you can do with anybody, and just start building this ways to connect and communicate and enjoy life and get away from electronics for a little while. So, well, with that, I don't have much more to say. I am excited about 2025, and I really hope that you're excited as well. And if you're going on this journey with me, send me a DM. I would love to know who's in it to win it, and who is opening their hands wide for favor this year. And I'm just going to see what God does with it when we're willing, when we say, "Here I am, Lord, send me, choose me. I'm willing to go." And what if it could be easy? What if it doesn't have to be strenuous, and doesn't have to be exhausting? What if it gets to be life-giving and joy-filled? And I am here for that. So with that, choose joy until joy chooses you. And I can't wait to talk to you soon. Bye for now.